Hello everyone, my name is Nirja Sharma, an entrepreneur, a publisher, a writer, a blogger, an editor, a housewife, a mother. I am basically from the armed forces. My background is from the armed forces. I grew up in the Air Force. My father was in the Air Force. I have seen many parts of this country, and I also was fortunate enough to get married into the Air Force. My husband retired as a group captain, a pilot, and we then settled in Pune. When I picked up a job with an academic publishing house, I took up a job as an editor. I was their chief editor for 10 years, was educated at Delhi University, then got married, and because we had a transferable job, I picked up a job as a teacher, which was very fulfilling. But then when my son was born, I wanted to stay at home with him. So I decided that I needed a job which I could do from home. I saw an ad in the newspapers one day which asked for freelance editors for an academic publishing house. That was the day that I entered the publishing field. I interviewed with them, I got selected and became an editor of academic books. 10 years later, I left them as a chief editor, started my own publishing house. It's not a very long story. My friend approached me because I was in the publishing industry, and she wanted an opinion about her book. She had written a romance novel, and as I too love romance novels, I was dying to have a look at it. I read it, I loved it, and I told her that she should get herself published. I was still working with my academic publishing house then, and I told her that I would help her to get published. It was around 2 years after that I decided that her book was good enough to get published, and I decided to enter the publishing industry as a publisher. That was a big day for me because deciding to become a publisher on my own was a big step. But I didn't think too hard because I knew what I was doing was the correct thing. It was my passion. The books that I've read, the books that I wanted people to read was something that drove me to become a publisher. So that started the journey. 1 year later, we launched and published not only my publishing house, but also our first book, which was a romance novel. The book fortunately did very well. It became a bestseller. People were, especially women, were demanding for her second book, which was going to be a sequel to the first one. The reason to become a publisher was to give a platform to all those writers who find it very difficult to get publishing houses, get their books published. So we started small, and we are still a very small publishing house, but we have already published 4 books and we have 4 more in the pipeline. Fierce competition among publishers out there who only want big names, who can give them best-selling books, made me think that there were writers out there who really write well, have this untold story inside them, do not have the platform, do not know what to do when they have put those words on paper. My goal here at Arhan Publishers is to provide them a platform where they can come to us, approach us easily, and get that personal attention which big publishers and big names would not be able to provide with. So we give them personal attention, from editing to their cover designing to proofreading to how they want. So it's one-on-one interaction all the time, and most of my authors have as loved working with us as I have loved working with them. Each book that we have published is the creation of new life, is how we take it. My journey as a publisher started the day I took a chance on my first book, Take a Chance on Me, written by my friend Sapna Bhog, who I would like to thank today because of the opportunity she gave me and the trust she placed in me to become her publisher. Women empowerment to me meant empowering myself by becoming an entrepreneur, by standing on my own 2 feet, empowering myself and those who wanted to be heard through their words, through their stories. It is about challenging yourself, unshackling yourself and empowering yourself. So if you have what it takes to challenge yourself, join this wonderful platform that I found has given me the voice to share my ideas, my values, my principles, and what I want others to hear. Be a part of this glorious, wonderful movement that Women's Glory has started, with so many women out there who are stepping out and making a world for themselves.